If you've used AI code editors like Windsurf and Cursor, you know this feeling. Everything works great during prototyping, but the moment the codebase gets a bit more complex, or when you're trying to implement a production-ready feature, things start to break. In this video, I'll show you an iterative framework that you can apply to your AI coding workflows with coding assistants to massively improve the reliability of their output. This works for any AI code editor that leverages prompt as the primary way of interaction. Want to learn how? Let's dive straight in. Regardless of what tool you use, our primary way of interacting with these AI coding assistants is via prompt. So the first thing we got to think about is the level of details that goes into our prompt. So the level of detail of our spec. The reason why we feel prototyping phase is so much easier is because we have no detailed expectations of how it needs to achieve the given task. In most cases, we ask it to copy a UI. We ask it to say implement a login, do a reminder. There's no specification around it needs to utilize this library, it needs to utilize these kind of databases, it needs to use whatever. Because these lack of constraints, AI has free reign to implement the solution in any way it wants. If it has 100 different solutions and any one of them would have worked, whichever one it picked, we would have been happy. But as your code base grows, as it gets more complex, as you add in more dependencies, there will be further library, framework, and other constraints that gets added in. So AI has to operate within these constraints to deliver the final outcome. So even if it hasn't got any dumber, our prompt hasn't got less detailed, but because there are more context required for it to implement the same task, you'll see it doing a worse job even with the same thing that goes in. That's why the level of specifications we need to put into the prompt has to evolve together with our code base. So the more complex the code base, the more detailed the prompt for the same kind of task that needs to be executed. Even with Cursor and Windsurf's latest addition of the auto context capabilities, I still find it falling every now and then. Even just today, I've had an issue when I asked it to implement a very simple feature to add a settings display into the pop-up window. It just couldn't use the right storage types and refused to search through to find the right storage types. At the end, I had to mention the files very explicitly in the prompt for it to achieve the right outcome. This is one of the extreme simpler cases. Let's say you're trying to add authentication to your server stack. You can't just say, hey, add user auth to this. In the code base that already exists, you probably already have opinions on the framework and stack you want to use. Say, please use Supabase for the authentication, and here are the user information I'd like you to store in the database, and here are the other metadata. Use Google login specifically, don't support any other login types. That's the kind of level that you want to go into. Otherwise, if you just say, hey, implement auth, you have no idea what it's really going to do, and I'd bet 8 out of 10 times, it will do something that you wouldn't want anyway. Spending that little bit of effort thinking about how you should structure and add detail to your prompt can massively improve the quality of output you get on the other end. Here's another exercise I'd invite you to do. Every time you have to spend multiple iterations to get AI to do the right thing, after you've achieved that task, revert to the previous point, try to iterate on your prompt and see if you can get it to do it in one shot. See if you can call out those issues in your initial prompt. See if you can be more specific about what you want to achieve in your initial prompt and get AI to do it in one shot. I found that to be an incredibly helpful exercise because it makes me think clearer about a feature before throwing the spec at AI. I want to aim to get AI, to get the coding assistant to do things within at most 2 iterations. Because the moment it refuses to do things within 2 iterations, I know that's something wrong with me, not the AI assistant. Now you know how to tweak the level of detail that goes into your spec. The next variable you can change is the size of your task. If we think about task complexity as the y-axis and the codebase complexity as the x-axis. There's a line that you can draw from the bottom right to the top left, where the task you can give to AI sits within this triangle. Essentially, the simpler the code base, the more complex the task you can give it. The more complex the code base, the simpler the task you have to give it. This all has to do with the context limits with most AI agents or LLMs. When working with more complex code bases, an implicit detail here is that more context is required to solve the exact same problem. More complex code base has way more constraints for implementing the exact same feature. When you're starting out, when you haven't chosen any library yet, you have free reign to do anything you want. But the moment you want to implement something specific, an addition to an existing library, an addition to an existing complex system, you have to work around the constraints of the existing system to implement that feature. In this case, AI has to fit all of that context in first before it can implement your feature well. As your codebase grows more complex and bigger, you generally want to give it slightly smaller tasks to implement. This doesn't stop you from using those giant prompts to implement those initial wireframes of your entire system. But this is for when your codebase is already in a production ready state and you're consistently adding new features. The other benefit of having mid to small size code is just easier to review for you. I never just run the AI generated code. I prefer to look at the generation, see the logic of the code it generated, read the actual code diff, check for any obvious errors as if I was reviewing a GitHub pull request, make sure that everything is okay, then move on to doing the validation. I found that this makes it super easy to spot the obvious mistakes or to spot the obvious framework issues, styling issues, or just major logic flaw that goes into the code before you even go to test it. And that will save you a ton of time. Having smaller tasks makes this step extremely easy to validate. And now I'm sure many of you are going to say, but breaking down tasks is so much effort. I don't want to have to go into that detail, writing the ultra long spec, doing the breakdown. That's just going to be annoying. While that's true, but I can 100% tell you, even if you have to do this by hand, it's extremely useful. The thought process that drives you to get the detailed spec out will make you think so much clearer about the product that you're going to create. But here, there's a trick that can help us do this work. We can use advanced reasoning models like O1 to really help us do the initial breakdown. My personal preference is actually to use VS Code with their $10 subscription. You get 10 O1 prompts free per day. For Cursor, they charge 40 cents per query, and Windsurf doesn't currently have the ability to leverage O1 just yet. I use the Codebase context inside the O1 query, inside VS Code, tell it the rough feature I want to implement, and get it to implement a plan for me. So rather than writing down the detailed spec from top to bottom, I get O1 to do the initial breakdown with sufficient level of details. So I just end up going in to do the final tweaking, perhaps specifying an explicit library to use, a database implementation, specific user fields. Here you can see on the left, see O1 doing a specific task of doing API key authentication for my existing codebase. It's already generated a very good spec. All I need to do, tweak specific elements, then every single section is now a very nice mid-sized task that I can just directly shove to AI. If I'm feeling a bit adventurous, I can combine multiple ones of them and put it in. But if I want to break it down, here's a template that's already there. I found the O1 breakdowns to be such a huge speed up for my general everyday workflow, especially when I'm working on more complex features. Now you've worked out your optimized size tasks and the level of details you want to put in the spec. You're iterating on the individual prompt session. What are the things to look out for here? One thing you definitely want to avoid is spending those ultra long sessions trying to make the prompt just do the right thing and realizing it just couldn't. Much like what I've previously said, you have to keep in mind that AI has very limited context. Within that context window, the more accurate, the more concise information that you can give it, the better it is going to achieve. When you have extremely long conversations and it makes mistakes and finds issues, you're trying to ask it to correct issues on the code it previously generated. It includes all of that errors as part of your conversation. I found they only work well when the error is small. If they've just ended up using a completely wrong framework, designing using a wrong paradigm, there's no point trying to get the AI to correct itself and have that previously useless code in the context, because that's only going to cause confusion. The thing you should do here, start a new prompt, start a new composer session, start a new cascade sessions before you continue. If you're working with 3 or more follow-up prompts and still couldn't get the feature to work, I'd say either your task is too big, it's getting too complex for the AI to get right, or your spec is not clear enough for it to do well, or in the worst case, the model that you're using is just not able to achieve the thing you want to do. I doubt it will be the third option, so we have to look at the first two. Iterating on the spec or iterating on the size of task. Start a new prompt, rethink the query and task I've given it, rewrite it to try to get it to do things right within the first or second shot. Long context could work quite well if you're just doing minor feature tweaks or additions. Say, oh, you've just added a authentication framework for your server. You want to add in a little bit of metadata to be saved to the database. You want to tweak a specific part of user flow. Say at the end, you want to redirect the user to the dashboard page. In the follow-up prompt, there's no point starting a new one because it's good that AI already has context to add those small features in accurately. But otherwise, if you're not already done a relatively correct path of iteration, start something new. But even in those cases, you have to think about when the conversation gets long enough, you're almost always better off creating a new prompt, a new composer session specifically for that implementation. Because if you're just doing small feature additions, much of the previous context is not useful for that feature to be implemented. So one, you're just wasting context, and two, you're creating more room for AI to make mistakes in those sessions. You only have to make the switch if you notice an issue. So really, you can just continue like normal until you find problems with it. The last point in this framework, technically not specifically to do with prompts, but it will really help your AI iteration. Use a well-known typed language for your production projects. If you're building prototypes, whether you're using vanilla JavaScript, Python for data analysis, or any other language, it doesn't really matter. AI is going to be able to deal with prototypes without any huge problems. But in production use cases, you'll find that typed languages is such a huge advantage when leveraging AI, because types contains so much metadata that tells AI about the structure of data underneath, the interface between different code functions, makes it very easy for AI to spot the mistakes and get context based on just the code it reads without even having to import the original source. This is why currently my top language of choice is TypeScript, because it's the most popular language out there that's currently typed. Frameworks are great. It works both for front end and back end. Even though it's not my go-to language, that would have been Golang, but I'm more than happy enough to stick with TypeScript now because of the quality of code that AI could generate, given the wealth of TypeScript coding data that most LLMs has been trained on. So really strongly recommend using typed languages because they are basically the free context that you're getting as part of all of your prompts. The other cool benefit is that one of the latest features on Cursor where it's able to iterate on lints. So it sees the type issue after it generates the code. It will try to fix the type issue as part of that generation, as part of that single composer run. I frequently found it fixing its own issue that it would not have gotten otherwise. So really, use types. is just a free piece of information that you're getting. I'm pretty sure that many of you are already using TypeScript, but even if you're already using TypeScript, use explicit types where you can. You don't have to spray them everywhere, but at least on the critical interfaces, say on the critical function returns, they are amazing way of getting AI to output higher quality and more accurate code as you go along with the generation. With all that said, the real thing to keep in mind is just how can you feed AI better context, whether it's through manual input or through other tooling. That's the thing you always got to keep at the back of your mind when you're thinking about prompts, when you're thinking about asking AI to do things. Looking a bit more forward, will this prompt framework still be required in the agentic coder era that we are going into? To say things like Devon, which is fully autonomous, that's able to test its own code, iterate fully until it gets a final results for you. I think it will be very different then, because in those worlds, we have to more clearly define the goals and guardrails for what AI needs to do rather than define the actual tasks it needs to achieve. So say you want to authenticate the user and provide features X, Y, Z. You let AI figure out the spec that it actually needs to do, and then it will test itself. You don't have to think about the underlying implementation that it chose. That said, it's still going to take us quite well before we get there. These kind of prompting strategies and mental frameworks of how you improve your interaction with AI is still absolutely critical in the current stage with amazing, powerful coding tools like WinSurf and Cursor. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my rules video just up there, teaching you how you can leverage all of this mental model to improve the AI's quality of output without having to tire out your hands to type everything possible. Until then, happy shipping, and I'll see you in the next one.